Collector, all right, you aren't wasting any time. Yeah, no, I mean, if it was a reprint set, you'd want to see something like a Masters set, right? Like, you don't want to, okay, here's a non-Masters, just full reprint set. Like, what? All right, we'll do the starter collection next after we get through these Lector boosties. All right. Hopefully, we pull some gas right here with these collector packs. Man, if you guys have ever, I don't know if anybody else has ever done this, but if you open the collector packs either right before or after, especially if you're doing it right after the regular ones, it's like a whole different, like they're twice as thick as the plastic on the... All right, we've got a Spirit. Hey, there's a good reprint. Oh man, the foiling. The pringling. It's already begun. This is the new Alicia who laughs at fate. That's going to be a fun new card to build out. 1 black-red for a human warrior with first strike. Whenever Alicia attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then she also has Raid, which says, at the beginning of your end step, if you attacked this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alicia's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's silly, because it's not hard to put counters on stuff, you guys. So, like, in a red and black deck, I feel like this is a crazy... Like, because it's not just recursion. It's not just, well, I'm going to get this back. I'm going to get it and put it straight onto the battlefield. Like, that's really good. That's going to be a super fun build for a lot of people. So, very cool new card. Next up, Seer Slicer Goblin has Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, create a 1/1 red goblin token. So guess what? That goes in the Alicia deck. No big deal there. We also have the full art Seer Slicer Goblin. That's pretty cool. The first one is like this tiny little horde of goblins. The second one is like this giant looking goblin. Aha! Zul Asher, Lich Lord. Another good card. Has ward pay 2 life, and then you can tap it and you may cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. So just more recursion. Brass's Bounty. For each land you control, make a treasure token. Well, that'll ramp you up. Of course, the thing does cost 7 mana to cast, so we'll see. Old Admiral Brass. Then we've got a foil Plains. And we've got some reprints here. We've got Blanchwood Armor, Reassembling Skeleton, Billowing Shriek Mass, Perforating Artist, Evolving Wilds, Bite Down, Uncharted Voyage, Infestation Sage, and a Witness Protection. That was a good pack 1, guys. It was a good pack 1. Pack number 2. Flying Drake. I feel like I can never find enough of these for my Taurend. All right. Ooh, that's a pretty celestial armor right there. Man, look at the detail. I wish there was a way for you guys to see this up close and in person. Very pretty. Man. Here's that new Hydra. This is silly, you guys. Full art, Mossborn Hydra. For 2 and a green, it has Trample. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it, and then has a landfall trigger. When a land you control enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. Like what? Yeah, just this in like a doubling season. No big deal. Just casually, this thing will end up being like, you know, 12/12, like on the turn you cast it. That's wild, you guys. Man, we're doing really good. I was hoping to hit this because I have a new Lathril deck tech getting ready to come out. That's a super cool reprint of Lathril there. Lathril has Menace as a 2/3, and whenever she deals combat damage to a player, make that many 1/1 elf warrior creature tokens. Then you can tap her and tap 10 untapped elves you control, and each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. This is probably the most popular elves commander. Had her own precon a few years ago where she was originally printed. Very, very, very good. Black elves are really fun. Pretty card. Speaking of doubling season. Doubling season! Classic printing of the doubling season. 4 and a green says if an effect would make 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many instead. And if an effect would put 1 or more counters, put twice as many counters on that permanent instead. I've got another Giada, Font of Hope. And then we've got a full art Plains. Seismic Rupture. That's still cool. I mean, I will say, you guys, like commons and uncommons, it's interesting to me that they would ever print with full art, like foil versions of those cards. I don't know, what's your all's opinion there? Like, do you think these kind of treatments should be reserved for rare and mythic cards, or just like more powerful cards, or do you guys like seeing these kind of treatments on commons and uncommons? To me, it's interesting that they offer that. Vampire, Self-Reflection, Windscarred Crag, Sure Strike, Armisar Guide, Elementalist, Adept, and a Courageous Goblin. Of course, no one wants to talk about Secret Lair today, I'm sure, after the fiasco yesterday. Oh man, that's all Twitter was all day long. All right. Sylvan Scavenging. At the beginning of your end step, choose one, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control, or make a 3/3 raccoon token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. It's very pretty. Herald of Eternal Dawn. I believe this one is a new card. Full art. Angel with flash flying. You can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Sounds like another angel that I've heard of. Maybe a platinum angel. Hey, here we go. I know CFAV's excited for this one. It's the new Galta printing. Galta's an oldie but a goodie. A very, very good card. And I mean, if you can get this out in standard, like, come on. This is just silly. If you can get this out in a standard game, guys, your opponents only have 20 life to start with. A 12/12 with trample. Potentially for 2 green. That's insane. So good. Elvish Archdruid. Getting a reprint here. And I'll tell you what. Elves and their ramp. Elvish Archdruid's 1 green. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, so it's a lord on top of being a mana dork, and then you add green for each elf you control. These cards do serious work. This and Priest of Titania and Wirewood Channeler, they'll never not see play. Raise the Past. Return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty good. Especially in like a low to the ground weenies deck, this is super good. And then the full art foil island. We've got Zombify, Fire Spitter Whelp, Resolute Reinforcements, Aetherize. Aetherize is a good card. No one ever sees it coming. Scoured Barrens, Broken Wings, Crypt Feaster, Sword of Chaos, Aegis Turtle. Another rabbit. Guess what? I'm making the Heir Apparent deck, and I'm going to need like 1 trillion of these rabbit tokens, in addition to like 1 trillion copies of Heir Apparent. Super excited for this one. All right. Goblin Bushwhacker. Getting a reprint there in the... I can't remember what set that treatment is from. Banner of Kinship. This artifact enters, choose a creature type. This artifact enters with a fellowship counter on it for each creature you control of the chosen type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter on this artifact. I mean, that's going to be really good. Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking this is similar to Door of Destinies, except for the payoff's immediate. Door of Destinies takes too long to get up and running. I think that's most people's complaint with Door of Destiny. That, you know, okay, another creature comes in, okay, another counter on it. This one, you put the counters on it when it comes in, and then the payoff is immediate. So, for example, in the rabbit deck that I was talking about that I built out, at any given time, I've got between like 10 and like 90 rabbits. So, yeah, you're going to get the payoff immediately. Yeah, I agree with that, too. It's not like the payoff... Like, Door of Destinies keeps up with your board state, but it doesn't pay you off if you've already got a strong board state. Banner of Kinship comes in and pays off the board state that you have already, and then holds it the rest of the game. I mean, or as long as it's out. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely, I think it'll see play for sure. But a cool card nonetheless. And I love the artwork. I'll just be real with you. This is almost like Bloomborough 2.0 in the artwork department for Foundations, which I love. Like, we got a whole bunch of new players in with the cutesy Bloomborough, and then then we went straight into a horror set, which people were excited about too, but then like bouncing it right back to the like cutesy stuff is nice, because you're going to re-engage those players if they, you know, for whatever reason weren't into the horror aesthetic. So you're kind of doubling down on that. So this is fun. Curator of Destinies. Here's pulled one of these in the first pack. This is just the full art version. Can't be countered. It's a very fun fact or fiction. One of the stacks goes face down, one of the stacks goes face up, and your opponent picks one, and you get that one. So cool there. Leyline Axe. I believe this is a new equipment here. If it's in your opening hand, you can put it onto the battlefield. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. Gross. And then has a equip cost of 3. That's going to see play for sure. Drake Hatcher. Vigilance and Prowess. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may put that many incubation counters on it. And then you can remove 3 incubation counters from this creature and make a 2/2 blue Drake with flying. And we've already seen a couple of the Drake tokens as well. Good for... Oh, Revenge of the Rats. Mage, Bloodfell Caves, Burst Lightning, Vampire Soulcaller, Strix Lookout, and Goblin Borders. Haven't seen a single Heir Apparent yet, which is not great. I was hoping to pull a whole bunch of those. Means I'm going to have to go buy a whole bunch of those. As I'm sure a lot of people will. That card, even though it's printed at uncommon, is probably going to... Just like Relentless Rats and Shadowborn Apostles and all those cards that you can have. Rat Colony. All of those decks that have a bunch of copies of those cards. There's another emblem. I'm glad they're putting these emblems in here. There's Kato, Cunning Infiltrator's emblem. Excuse me. We've got a High Fae Trickster. Has flash. You can cast spells as though they had flash. Pretty good. Having flash is nice, and it's not just like any spell, it's all your spells, so that's really nice. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Another new card. This is the one that is the... whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life, so it's the Exquisite Blood, but on a creature. It's 5/5 with flying and death touch for 3 black. Good value in these. Here we go. I just built this one. Erebos, the First Fang. Here's the extended art version. That's just super pretty. These extended arts, I know some people are split on it because they feel like they don't look like Magic cards, but I love these cards. All right, Hobbs, have a good one, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Got a Mossborn Hydra. This is a foil version of the regular artwork, so that's our second Mossborn Hydra. The Curator of Destinies again, so that's our third one of those. Full Art Swamp. Oh, check out that Swiftfoot Boots. That is a pretty Swiftfoot Boots. Very fun. Foil, full art Swifties. Swifties. That'll be worth a little bit. Balmor Battle Mage. Battle Song Berserker. Midnight Snack. Oh, there we go. That's... Look at these people just down here just in the middle of the night eating like massive pieces of cake. This is like me on a daily basis. Swiftwater Cliffs. Pilfer Beastkin Ranger. Felidar Savior. That's a good card. And Fleeting Distraction. Yeah, I need to start pulling some of these to the side because I'm building that Cats, the mono white Cats deck. Yeah, that Swiftfoot Boots is very nice. We just uploaded the Cats precon. So obviously there's not precons in Foundation, so we're kind of making some precons. And the mono white Cats deck was one of the ones I built out. So that deck tech will be is up now. And then I built a Rabbits one. That one will be going out later. Shane is building a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle from one of the Jumpstart commanders. That one's going to be fun. And then we're collaborating with a couple other people to do some other ones. Maybe the new Coma. Oh! There we go, guys. Holy cow. The Manifoil Itali Primal Storm. Gosh, that is gorgeous. Can you all see that? It's like if you hold it a certain way, it's matte. Oh man, that's so cool. It's textured a little bit too. Gah. And what a good card to have it on too. Freaking Itali. Man. So cool. First card. Gosh. You know what? Give me a sleeve. No way are we just going to hang out with this one. Give me a sleeve. This is so cool. Wow. That is fun. Man. Oh yeah, and you can see it really good on the screen too. That's so cool. So I was expecting them to be exactly like the ones that were in Phyrexia All Be One, but this is more of a matte. This is more of a matte finish. That's so cool. All right, let's put it side by side. Sorry, hold on. Let's put it side by side with the All Will Be One treatment really quick. So here's the Mondrak from All Will Be One, which is a similar treatment, right? Because you have the Phyrexian symbols here. So I was expecting it to be that, except for just with the mana symbols instead of the Phyrexia. This is super like high gloss. I don't know if that comes across. I don't know if that comes across in the stream or not. How like glossy it is. Meanwhile, the Itali is more of like a matte look to it. So it's much easier to see on stream than the Phyrexia All Be One. And the All Be One is like a holograph almost. And then the Manifoil is more of a like it's like it itself is high gloss, but everything else around it is matte. Very fun, very cool. What a pull. That's awesome. Super excited for this. Wow, what a pull, guys. What a pull. We'll get back to the box break here in just a second. Sorry. All right, back to this pack. This is what was on top of this pack. So back to the pack. The full art of Johnny, Caller of the Pride. There we go. Blasphemous Edict. This is going to absolutely be a staple in Commander, guys. This is maybe the best board wipe in black now. Blasphemous Edict, obviously akin to Blasphemous Act, and it works very much the same way. You can pay a single black rather than pay this spell's mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. And then each creature sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. So notably, it still gets around indestructible, right? Because it forces you to sack a creature instead of just a destroy. Man, that is going to see a ton of play, guys. This is the full art version, and it's just got people are just carrying this massive, I'm assuming some sort of Grim Reaper around on their shoulders. Super fun card. A foil Herald of the Eternal Dawn. You can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Very angel thing to do. Sky Knight Squire, a cat. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And as long as this creature has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has flying and is also a knight in addition to its other types. So fun cat card there. We've got the basic planes. We've got a fun full art foil Hero's Downfall. That art is very cool. Foil makes it. There we go. You can see it a little better there. And destroy target creature or planeswalker. We've got a Nessian Beetle, Sunblessed Healer, Skyship Buccaneer, Thornwood Falls, Wary Thespian, Fleeting Flight, And a full art Think Twice. Man, that art is so cool. Again, very fun art. Super cool, full art, foil. But it's on a common. Like, it's just, I mean, it's very cool. And then a burglar rat. All right, all right. Hey, if you're here checking this out, if it's your first time here, give us a follow. Jump in the chat and say something. What are you excited for in this set? Are you excited for this set? What kind of player are you? Do you play Commander? Do you play Standard? Do you play other formats? What's your jam? 4/4 Dragon token. You can never find these when you need them. We've got Electro Duplicate with the extended art foil. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, except it has haste, and at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice this token. And it also has flashback for 2 red. So 2 red the first time, 2 red. Flash it back. A Sylvan Scavenging. We pulled one of those earlier. I think it's the exact same one. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, or make a 3/3 raccoon. An Ashroot Animus. We pulled one of these out of the bundle. Sphinx of Forgotten Lore. So this is a different Sphinx. We've pulled a couple of other Sphinxes so far. This one has flash, flying, and whenever this creature attacks, target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. Crystal Barricade. This is going to be a card I think people are going to be excited about too. This is a new card. It's a wall, and it has Defender, as most walls do. You have Hexproof, which is nice. So no direct damage getting sent my way. And then prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. Very good. That's going to, I think, see a lot of play. And a mountain. Youthful Valkyrie. Secluded Courtyard. Imprisoned on the Moon. That's a good card. Dreadwing Scavenger. Dismal Backwater. Bushwhack. Think Twice. And an Ambush Wolf. And a Stab. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We got several more boxes to open. I like that cat token. Hey! Anime Herald of Eternal Dawn. New angel. Flash flying. You can't lose the game. Your opponents can't win the game. There we go. You guys can sort of see that. The anime... Like, I have mixed feelings about these. This one is super pretty, though. Just sort of hard to see and read. They do at least put the stroke on all the text, which I didn't realize that in like the card images and things that we were able to see all in all the preview cards. I couldn't tell that that was there, but it's not as hard to read in person as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to sleeve this one up too. Very cool card, very fun card. Anytime you have something that says your opponents can't win, it's a nice insurance policy. All right, Kiora. Pulled one of those already. Kiora the Rising Tide. Oh! Got the new Coma. Coma World Eater. The full art extended Coma. This is a combat-centric Coma, whereas the other one you just kind of want it to sit there and do its thing. Yeah, I agree. They do kind of look like a Yu-Gi-Oh card a little bit. Not the Coma, the Herald of Eternal Dawn. This spell can't be countered. Same thing as Coma. It's 3, 2 green, 2 blue. So I think that's the same cost as Coma. Can't remember. Trample and Ward 4. Whenever Coma deals combat damage to a player, make 4 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Coma's Coil. So that's going to be a fun deck. I can't not wait to see what people do with this card. I think it's going to be fun. I think people like Coma already. I know a few people personally that are really excited for this card. I'm going to sleeve it up as well. We've got Swift Blade Vindicator. Has Double Strike, Vigilance, and Trample. Human Soldier. The Ashroot Animus. Pulled a few of those already. This is the regular art, but foil. And then an island. Got a Reclamation Sage reprint. Meteor Golem, Dragon Trainer, Divine Resilience, Involuntary Employment, Marauding Black Priest, good card, Healer's Hawk, Run Away Together, and a Soul Shackled Zombie. Got a few packs left. Elf Warrior, Archmage of Runes. It's a fun artwork there. Giant Wizard, Vivian Reed, getting a reprint here. Pulled her emblem earlier. That's pretty cool. Fun art there with like the like a boar ghost looking, illusion type thing there. Cool card. Lunar Insight. Draw a card for each different mana value of non-land permanents you control. That could be a lot of cards. Spinner of Souls. Reaching Spider. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library. Extravagant Replication. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another non-target, non-land, another target non-land permanent you control. That's pretty good. Repeatable copies. Seems good. The Liliana Swamp there. In front of like a crypt or something. Pretty. Snakeskin Veil. Man, that's a good card. It's a really good card. Especially in Pauper. Abrade. Loving the artwork here. Very cool artwork on that Abrade. Wardens of the Cycle. Angel of Finality. Spitfire Lagic. Who knows? Macabre Waltz, Squad Rallier, Crackling Prowler, and a Make Your Move. We got a rat. Exemplar of Light. Very pretty. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Whenever you put one or more 1/1 counters on this creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. That would be super busted if it didn't say that. Exemplar of Light. Very pretty. Hey, we got another Exemplar of Light. The first one is the full art. This one is the extended art. Got a High Fae Trickster. You can cast spells as though they had flash. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. I think this card's going to be good. I think people are going to like this. It's a Vampire Knight, has flying and death touch. When an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So again, Sanguine Bond combo here. Exquisite Blood. This is the creature version of Exquisite Blood. Abyssal Harvester. A Demon Warlock, and you can tap it to exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. You create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. Then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. So just one at a time. But still, that seems pretty fun. Seems fun. Then a basic Plains with a Johnny here. Adventuring Gear. I think that's new. Heartfire Immolator. Goblin Negotiator. Savannah Lines getting a reprint here. Grow from the Ashes. Gleaming Barrier. Solarian Terror. Quick Draw Katana. I think that one's also a new card. There's just several new equipments in this set that look fun. And Luminous Rebuke. 2 packs left on the collector box. Then we've still got a whole bunch of other stuff to open. Zul Asher, the Lich Lord. Extended foil. You can cast a zombie from the graveyard this turn if you tap him. Ward, pay 2 life. The new Tiny Bones. There we go. Bauble Burglar. Extended art. When an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile. and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Then you can pay 3 and a black and tap him. Each opponent discards a card. Activate only as a sorcery. So typical Tiny Bones flavor. I'm a big fan of this artwork. I'm not a huge fan of playing against Tiny Bones. I don't like discarding my cards. I want to draw cards. Kellen. Planar Trailblazer. This is the full art version. Human Fairy Scout, you can pay 1 in a red. If Kellen is a scout, it becomes a Human Fairy Detective and gains whenever Kellen deals combat damage to a player. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, and then you can pay 2 in a red, and it says if Kellen is a detective, it becomes a 3/2 Human Fairy Rogue and gains double strike. So very fun card, and all the expense is here. It's just a single red to play Kellen, but all the expense comes from like paying into adding these things on. So can get it out on turn 1, and then as you ramp up, you can start paying into these things and doing what you want with Kellen. That's a fun card. Love his sword. It reminds me so much of the energy swords from Halo. Scrawling Crawler. I saw some spoilers for this card. It looks really fun. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. When an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. So that's probably going to go into everyone's Shieldred decks. It's more support for card draw punishment. Soulstone Sanctuary. Soulstone Sanctuary. Goodness, can't talk. Taps for colorless. You can pay 4, and it becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types, but is still a land. Interesting artwork there too, as well. It's like this monolith stone. There's all these arms coming out of it. Looks fun. And then a mountain with who do we say? Chandra there. Got a Garrick's Uprising, Vengeful Blood Witch, Essence Scatter. Very playable card. Infernal Vessel, Axeguard Cavalry, Eaten Alive, Mocking Sprite, Vanguard Seraph, and an Icewind Elemental. All right, last collector booster. Got another dragon token here. Dragon and the new Zimone Paradox Sculptor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control, and then you can pay Simic into it. Simic is green-blue. Tap it, double the number of each kind of counter on up to 2 target creatures and/or artifacts you control. She just looks so happy. Just so excited. Excited and happy. Full art foil. Here's the new Vampire Knight, Elenda, Saint of Dusk. Has lifelink and hexproof from instance. Like, I'm sorry, what? As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, Elenda gets +1/+1 and has menace, and gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your life total is at least 10 greater than your starting life total. Pretty good. High Fae Trickster. This is the anime art, I believe, for that one. Consuming Aberration. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. So that could be really big. Oh, nice. I'll have to watch the replay on that, Ben. Benjay. Here's another copy of Coma, the World Eater. Just not the full art version that we pulled earlier. The regular version, but foil. So cool. I know there are some people that are going to be wanting the Coma. And then a basic land with an Inspiring Call reprint. A Braid. Brineborn Cutthroat. The Quake Strider Ceratops. Man, I know people in Standard are stoked for that card. Gnarlid Colony. It's a beast. Campus Guide. Helpful Hunter. This is a new card. I mean, just how freaking cute is this cat? Guys, come on. Just this little feather in its mouth. He's just been a good boy. Or girl. Just out there making sure that the birds don't get in the house. It's cool because with the foiling on this, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'll try. as you rotate the card, the cat's eyes go from like yellow to green to like blue to orange. It's super neat looking. I know that's just a byproduct of the foiling, but like in this particular card, it's like they did it on purpose to be able to change the cat's eyes. And they're all like normal cat eye colors, right? Like green, like hazel, orange, yellow, blue. That's just fun. Crackling Cyclops. And an Apothecary Stomper. That's the first one we've seen of that. A big old elephant with vigilance. 4/4. When it enters, either put 2 +1/+1 counters on a target creature or gain 4 life. Well, you know what? I would say this is a successful collector box for sure. Let me pull out what we got from... Yeah, here's what we got from... That's what we pulled from the bundle. So what we pulled from the collector box here, we got these two, which are probably the coolest ones. Then we got the extended art Coma. We got the regular Coma. High Fate Trickster, the new Elinda, the new Zamone, new Land, the new Scrawling Crawler, the new Kellen and the new Tiny Bones, the Zul Asher, the Abyssal Harvester, the new Vampire, that's the Exquisite Blood, except for a creature, the other art version of the High Fate Trickster, the Exemplar of Light, a couple of copies of those, different artworks, Extravagant Replication, Lunar Insight, Vivian Reed, Archmage, Swiftfoot, Kiora, the Crystal Barricade. That one is going to be a fun one. A couple of copies of that Sphinx, then the Ashroot again. I know we got 2 copies of the Sylvan Scavenging. Electro Duplicate seems fun. This new cat. Another one of the Angels, the Blasphemous Edict. Absolutely think that's going to be a staple in Commander. The reprint of Ajani. This very cool Swiftfoot Boots in foil. Curator Destinies, the Mossborn Hydra. This is just silly, guys. Hydra Dex Rejoice, right? The new Cat Commander, the Airbow. Here's the other version of the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Another High Fate Trickster, Drake Hatcher, Leyline Axe, Curator of Destinies, the Banner of Kinship. Sort of like Door of Destinies, but like slightly reversed. Seems fun. The Goblin Bushwhacker. Raise the Pass, brings back all your weenies from the graveyard. Elvish Archdruid, the new Galta. Very cool looking. The Brass's Bounty, Slice Seer Goblin, the Alicia, who laughs at fate. Giada, a Doubling Season, the new Lathril, the extended art Mossborn Hydra, and then the Celestial Armor. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that one in a... Probably put most of these in sleeves right after this, but for now I know those are kind of important ones. Just keep those in sleeves. Now I could very much so be missing some cards that deserve to be in sleeves, but I'm not here to speculate on their value just yet. We may eventually do another video. I think there's a lot here. You know, like looking through it in a list is one thing, but then opening the cards and like seeing them firsthand is like a whole different experience.